Hello. Today we are going to learn how to figure out those hard words or hard phrases, sentences that we just don't understand. And we're going to talk about the mood of the book, about what feelings you get when you read those words and sentences, and how to use it within context. So let's begin right away. Start from the beginning. So here, we're going to see a list of words. Okay, let's read them. Grit, crumb, muck, stain, and smudge. Are there any words here that you don't know? Okay. Are there any words here that you do know? Well, boys and girls, these words all have something in common. But before we get there, let's try to figure it out. What image or feelings do you get from these words? Do you see anything that's maybe wet? Maybe something that's rough? What about smooth? All right, how are you feeling about these words? Do you feel comfortable when you read these words? Or are they making you feel a little bit nervous? All this thought process is very important when we are reading, especially words that we don't understand. We want to pause and think about the mood of these words. Let's see here a little bit more about them. So we have grit, which is sand from the beach. We have crumb, like a cracker crumb or a bread crumb. We have the word muck, which talks about mud. And the word stain, which means when you have a stain in your clothes, either from chocolate, from ink. For example, when you have to go to the laundry to clean out those stains, right, from your clothes. We have the word smudge, which means a smear of paint in a picture. Sometimes we also see smudges on our papers if we're eating and something with our hands, and then we touch paper, we can get a smudge on that paper. So maybe you knew these words, maybe you didn't know these words, but now you can see that they all have something in common. Overall, these words tell us about things that are dirty, right? So when you are reading, look for words that go together and try to figure out what's the meaning behind all those words grouped in the same paragraph together. Also think about how are these words making you feel. Maybe you didn't know what the word muck meant, but you did know maybe stain or crumb. What images or memories do these words bring about while you read? So now let's try it using a paragraph from a book. As you read, you want to ask yourself these questions. First, what's the mood? Is it a positive mood or is it a negative mood? Then, think about the word meaning, right? What is that word trying to tell me? And then explain it. Explain and define the word. Don't just skip over it. Try to explain it within what you read. Are you ready? Let's read this together. As the town mice headed frantically along the road, the country mice were fleeing in terror toward the country. Their path crossed, but neither saw the other. They were so frightened. Even the sky seemed to be falling down on them. The country mice didn't stop running until they could see their tree stump in the distance. Automatically, I noticed some words that I'm not really too sure about. So I'm going to annotate them really quick. I saw the word frantically. That's a new word for me. Also the word fleeing. Any other words that you found? I see the word frightened. I've heard that before, but I'm not sure what it means. And then there's a word here that can maybe help me understand. The word terror. So, we have the word frantically, fleeing, frightened, and terror. Now I'm starting to feel a certain way about these words, and I'm starting to see what's really happening in the story. So they're fleeing in terror, and they're moving frantically along the road. Let me see another sentence that can help me. Then, when I kept reading, something odd happened. This sentence right here that says, even the sky seemed to be falling down on them. What happened? Can the sky really fall down on people? I've never seen that happen. This is figurative language. It is trying to explain using comparisons so we get a mental picture of what they are feeling. Oh, so what do you think people feel if the sky falls on them? How will you feel? I think I will be scared, right? So let me go back to these words. Frantically, fleeing, frightened, terror. Oh, what's the feeling of this paragraph? Is it negative or is it positive? What do you think? Let me read the last sentence now. The country mice didn't stop running until they could see their tree stump in the distance. So if they're running, are they running because they're happy? I don't think so. I think I understand now. The feeling we get here is negative. Overall, these words mean to be scared and afraid. So let me go back and put these words with scared and afraid, and let's see if that makes sense. As the town mice headed scared along the road, the country mice were fleeing in terror. Yes, when we talk about terror, it does mean that you are afraid. So I am correct. So as you read, boys and girls, pick a few words that might go together. Look for those sentences that might hint at what's happening. And think, is it negative or is it positive? Now, you'll get to try this on your own. You're going to read for the next 30 minutes. You are to log on to Epic or Raskits, whatever is best for you. Or maybe pick a Just Right book from your house. Use this chart to help you. Think about the mood, positive or negative. Think about the word meaning. Explain the word afterwards. You can also ask yourself these questions as you read. What words are you trying to figure out? You can write them in a notebook too if you want. What's the mood? How are you feeling while you're reading this paragraph? Because of what the paragraph is about. Name the feeling you get. Can you explain it? Reread and see if it makes sense within the context. And that's it, boys and girls. Hope you have an enjoyable reading experience. Make sure to use this chart as you figure out those tricky, unfamiliar words.